Today is Wednesday, April 17th, 2019. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor Edge of Extinction, Week 9, Episode 10.
This episode is titled Blood of a Blindside, and that's courtesy of Ron. The outro music I'm using that comes from jukedeck.com. The intro's titled Anxious Abyss, and the outro's titled Gigantic Doubts. I think those are fitting descriptions for several how the castaways must have been feeling through this 3-day cycle double elimination, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, quite accelerated and a lot of turmoil going on.
That was a 4-day cycle, baby.
Okay. It technically was, but they didn't give us anything on 24. You're right.
Technically, yes.
Who did you have safe?
I had Kelley and Lauren and Julie and Victoria.
And who did you have being voted out?
I had Aurora and War Dog.
And I had Julie, Lauren, Rick, and Victoria safe. And I was thinking that Aurora and Gavin were going to go.
I thought Gavin was an excellent choice myself.
Yeah.
And contemplated it, but I also thought they would target David, but I didn't want them to, so I ignored it.
Mm-hmm.
Thought, no, it's not going to go that way, no.
Yeah, and I can remember saying yesterday, well, given how the editors have framed the story, it's extremely unlikely that these two returning players are going to go. So I think that's not even an option for me. I mention all that by way of the fact that there was no previously on Survivor. It just sort of sets the stage for how we were thinking about the episode as we began our watch today. Okay, so it's night 23. We're back at the Vata camp. They're coming back after that crazy tribal council that saw Julia end up exiting the game.
David thanks Rick for the idol play.
After exclaiming, wow, what a crazy tribal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he acknowledges that he didn't need that idol, but it was just there was so much chaos, he went ahead and played it anyway.
Well, and that they thought they made the right decision regardless, because it was just too chaotic to really know for sure where people were going to go.
Cut to War Dog and Ron down on the beach having a powwow, and they tell us that Aurora blew up Julia's game. That was interesting, huh?
Yeah, we didn't necessarily see it.
Well, they did. What they gave us, it wasn't that conclusive to hear War Dog and Ron tell it that was really it. And then there's something that comes just a little bit after this that makes you think, oh, man, I guess she really did goof.
Even Julia said, you're
spilling the beans.
You're spilling the beans. And I thought, but you already spilled the beans.
Yeah, it didn't seem as bad as what they showed us Julia said.
Yeah.
And then what Aurora was saying didn't seem overly spillage. It didn't seem like it was, too far or anything. It seemed like Julia got busted, but you never know what order things come in and whatnot. So maybe we didn't see the full extent of it, because War Dog and Ron are pretty clear that the blame's to be on Aurora for messing up how that vote went.
But War Dog wants the Lasso 3 plus Gavin, Ron, and Julie. So they pull everybody together.
Yep, time for a powwow down at the beach. So they drag them back down there where Ron and War Dog were, and he lays out his plan. Let's do a final 6. Let's take out Aurora. And then he tells us, basically we're seeing all this that's happening on the beach, and then we're seeing confessionals from the next day, because it's daytime when they're talking about these events, right? So that must be where day 24 went.
Yeah.
It's confessional day to sort of sort out what happened in that one-day cycle.
Yeah, he wasn't the one, I think, that really wanted Aurora. It was some of the others, Julie for sure. And he kind of went along with that. But he thought it was awesome that they already had a target.
You're saying that's War Dog?
Yeah, I don't think he came up with the...
Oh, yeah, he did. He even
did?
says in the episode, they loved my idea, and Aurora is next.
Well, I know, but they loved his idea of the final 6 and not having to worry. But I didn't think we're going to have to go back and watch that because I thought
and
Julie's
his proposal to take out Aurora, which Julie was on board with.
I think
I'm
you're
getting
wrong.
nudged.
I think you're wrong again.
Yep, right in the ribs. Oh, but Aurora tells us that, yes, indeed, she stuck her foot in her mouth. And she's crying and telling us in her confessional there on day 24 that everybody's going off on walks but her. But as the tears are flowing, she tells us she's okay with that because she learned how to be alone and when she was in the foster care system. It was not convincing, Aurora. I don't believe you.
Well,
you can't cry.
There's a difference
and say
in learning to be alone and on your own and to accept that. However, you can't play Survivor on your own. So there's the dilemma.
Certainly, that would be a dilemma.
And she knows that.
She hasn't been playing the smartest game out of the gate, so none of this surprises me.
Yeah, I don't think she knew it, though.
Yeah, you don't think she had that kind of awareness, a situational awareness, until...
Not necessarily.
She messed this up so bad for Julia? Okay. All right, moving on. It's day 25, and we're coming into the immunity challenge. And David right away says this looks like some kind of medieval torture device. So they're going to have to squat a lot. If you stand too tall, you tip over the water, and if you go too low, the flag pops up. So really, it's an endurance challenge doing squats. And I love that they brought a temptation in.
I do too, but I was very disappointed, especially in Wentworth.
Yeah?
And even really in Lauren. I thought that was showing your hand and your arrogance a little bit.
So there's this great big pile of pizza, which, granted,
Lauren needs food desperately.
Elf needs food. It didn't look like that great a pizza to me, but I'm sure it looked fantastic to them.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
So there's pizza, beer, and root beer.
It had olives.
And if you choose to, those are good.
Green olives.
Savory. If you choose to sit out, you can feast on the pizza till it's gone or the challenge is over. So, like Joanne said, Lauren, Wentworth, Victoria, and Ron all chose to sit out and not even attempt the challenge.
Now, the person who should have sat out
War Dog.
It was War Dog. He goes out first anyway every time.
Yeah, but this time it wasn't his fault. That darn butterfly knocked him out of the challenge.
Come on. He would have been the first one out regardless.
Very clearly, the butterfly took him out. It first landed on the bar and threw him off. You could see it shift his balance.
You're delusional.
And then it landed on his head and started tickling his ear.
It did. It was funny.
And it was all over. Poor War Dog first out.
It's the loved one spirit visiting you to say, I love you.
Right before that, though, we hear David say, man, I really wanted that pizza, and Probst didn't miss a beat. He said, too bad, you made your choice.
You made your choice.
He's going to rub
like,
it in
Jeff,
a little.
you know I didn't have a choice.
Okay, so War Dog drops, Gavin drops, Julie drops, and Probst tries to make it like it's a big dramatic moment, but really she sat down. You hear Probst tell it, and her legs gave out, and she came crashing down. She sat. Yeah.
She said, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
All right, so it's a showdown between David, Aurora, and Rick. I was surprised to see.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I wasn't surprised to see Aurora. You can tell she's got some legs on her. She's got some muscles there in her leg. Actually, she's ripped all over now, but
even her arms.
Those guns and were hiding a little bit, but you could tell she had some muscle that she was hiding there in those legs, and so it's on. You see David wobbling and trying to stretch out, and Rick struggling, but Probst said Aurora's not moving. She's just focused straight ahead. She's got that 1,000-yard stare on, and David totally wrecked Rick's attempt at immunity. Did you notice that? He went to check in with Rick, and so that prompted Rick to do a news update, and he lost his focus.
Well, Rick should have known better.
And dropped out.
You got your moment, but you also lost immunity and could have gone home.
We get to see Aurora have her junior Reem moment when David asks her how she's doing. She replies, "Sorry, bro, I'm not dropping." Just left out a dude.
I need it.
Left out a dude and a man, but that's early Reem right there. I guarantee it.
Okay, well, I don't have any problem with dude or man.
All right. So David and Aurora are fighting it out, and then Aurora's having a little bit of trouble. She starts shifting, moving. They finally show it. How long was that? It was like 20 minutes or more? Yeah, I can't imagine doing a squat that long. That was crazy intense. And then David ended up dropping out. Aurora won her second individual immunity challenge. Good job, Aurora.
I can barely bend over the dishwasher just to put something in there.
Uh-huh.
It's like, yeah.
Julie tells us in her confessional as they're headed out of the challenge that she really wanted Aurora out, and she's not sure what's going to happen now.
Well, just wait for someone to tell you what to do, like usual.
Yeah.
I'm a little miffed at Julie.
She's back in her comfort zone.
I wasn't here, but I am now.
Run and hide under the 6, so... Yeah. Now, don't you worry your pretty little head, Julie. Someone will tell you how to vote. Next up, let's see. It's day 25. We're back at Vata, and sure enough, those sharks were chasing the minnows, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. You get to see what David saw, minus the David part.
Yep.
Thankfully.
Yeah. Kelley tells us people don't want Aurora here. They really don't want her here. Yeah. But there's other options. They still have other people to choose from. They got Rick and David and Victoria, but War Dog wants David, and so does Gavin. So.
Yeah.
And David wants to break up that power trio, and he doesn't understand why are people not looking at this. I wondered that myself.
Definitely got a plan, so he ends up talking to Victoria. Rick ends up talking to Victoria and lays it out. And to which she said, "Well, that was my idea too, so it's great to hear someone else sharing it."
Yeah, but I don't believe anything she says.
Yeah, you just flat out don't believe her. I thought, okay, I'm willing to believe that. That makes sense. She's been shut out. She's been excluded. Maybe. Well, she's not part of the 6, clearly.
Maybe.
Well, there's no maybe about it.
Maybe. You just don't know with her. She just slips in and out. You notice she voted with
You can
6.
choose to ignore the facts and say maybe if you want.
Yep, you can't kill
But just because you think it doesn't mean it's true.
She crosses over the line.
She's out of the loop.
Time,
she's opportunistic,
ways.
Yes. But
Both
in this case, she's not part of the alliance of 6. But her and Rick have got an idea for a new alliance of 6 with Rick and David and Victoria and Aurora and Ron and Julie, if they can pull them in.
Well, they don't have a choice but to put some trust in her, but you can't really trust her. So, okay. Ron and Julie, this is it. They're the ones. They're in the middle. They can go either way. They are the swing votes, at least according to Ron.
David pitches his, that one conversation idea again. He's done this before. We heard him do it with Rick, but now he's pitching it to Julie. That one conversation that if you don't end up considering it, then you'll regret it later and it'll haunt you.
Well, I believe Julie definitely considered it. But she allowed Ron, I believe, to make the choice.
Right, when her and Ron...
Because she was leaning toward David and Rick.
Yeah, that she certainly seemed to be giving that indication in the confessionals there. And then when we see her talking to Ron, they're trying to decide which final 6 they want to go with, which, by the way, is a wonderful problem to have at this point in a season.
Yeah.
If you find yourself in the swing and you're not being targeted, that is a great place to be.
I had to fight myself not to put Ron as a vote off. Because I wanted it.
Right.
And I kept going, I don't think he's going yet, Joanne. And I kept thinking, he would be perfect. They should get him in War Dog. He would be perfect. They should get Gavin because he's a physical threat. Blah, 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 blah. And I just had to keep talking myself out of going back and putting Ron as a vote out.
Now, if I'm looking at it and I don't have a dog in this fight, I'm looking at Rick and David and Aurora and Victoria and Ron and Julie and thinking, for either any of those three pairs, you're much better off than being in a 6 with the Lesu Manu 3. So my thought was, well, how do you not go that way? Because you really need to take them down at this point.
Well, you've got at least 2 really good challengers, Gavin and Lauren, in that group. Now, granted, Aurora would be in the other group, but who else has got a lot of... Victoria can hang in there some, and David has hung in, but, I still don't see them as big a physical threat as some on the others, of the other tribe.
Okay.
Or the other alliance.
Ron informs us that Julie's his ride or die, but he needs to think about which of the 6 that they're going to go with. So that's the teaser as we head into the first tribal council of this 1-hour episode on night 25. Jury comes in, again, no named announcements. So that's one way they're saving time, I guess. Probst isn't introducing the jury as they enter. Yeah.
You know who's over there.
And right away, Probst hits David up with a question. How was he feeling after that last tribal council? And were you drained? And so David recounts how that third plan magically emerged thanks to Julia and Aurora. And made that
Rick,
all possible.
You got to give Rick some credit for stirring that pot.
Absolutely. And so Rick jumps in with his speech about loyalty and how he didn't have loyalty to begin with. That was... Rick did jury management.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He said, I wasn't loyal.
Blatantly.
And I took Chris. I turned on Chris.
And
then I immediately got voted out for that. So I'm being all about loyalty now.
Now I'm going to play an honest game. I'm going to be loyal to the people that I align with.
And he tells us that he had asked for help tonight, and he hopes that help shows up.
And War Dog said something. I don't even know what. He responded.
Well, it came a little later, but yeah, he talks about how the Lesu Manu 3 have been the most loyal. They voted together 8 times coming into their 9th tribal.
Oh, yeah, that was the blah, blah, blah that I...
Yeah. And then Julie gets hit with her question about being a passenger or a pilot, and she's all about her new story where she hit eject, and she's flying solo now, which I don't believe at all.
Well, I do like Rick pointing out, that what does that sound like somebody you can, get in the middle of? Or is those 3 that have voted together?
Yeah, you're going to there. What he also did, too, which was very smooth, was he complimented Julie on her bold play style. Mm-hmm. So he's selling Julie a little to help pump her up.
She made a big move last tribal.
Yeah, so I think Rick got under their skin again for sure.
I like it. But Kelley, of course, feels a need to argue with Rick, that you don't know what our dynamics are. We voted together because we had to. And I thought they showed a look that War Dog gave her, and I thought, oh, Kelley.
Might have been where the tide turned.
I think it might have.
Uh-huh.
So I thought, because he's already told her long ago that he wanted to get Lauren out because she and Lauren might turn against him. And I think she just stirred up that old paranoia. I do.
What'd you think when Lauren and War Dog turned on David when he tried to make his loyalty's my brand speech again? They were all over him, huh?
Yep.
Lauren wasn't having it. She's like, you voted against me.
And they don't show her talk much, but she was really putting it out there. Yeah, you said you'd never write my name.
She had a little...
Never write my name, but you did.
A little spark, a little passion woke her up, so she had something to say. Yeah, and War Dog claimed David was a squirmer. He was squirming his way through the game.
I liked his analogy about their ship was sinking and how low does it have to go before the rest of us realize it's going to be too late.
He went with the sinking ship. He might have gone, maybe he should have gone with the boiling frog, right? Where you slowly turn the temperature up and they never know they're boiling. Yeah, that's definitely what War Dog's been doing. Kelley's confident that the new 6 are together.
Yes, she is.
A tense moment. Are we going to see any hidden immunity idols played?
No idols played.
No.
I was like, oh, man.
All right, the votes start coming in. We got one for David, one for Warthog, another one for David, another for the Warthog, and then David, and David is out. Classy exit, no hard feelings, he tells him. And, of course, he snatches up the torch and heads out.
Tells him he's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, the jury, no one smiled to David. They're all sitting over there going, in your dreams, man.
You're right. Seems potentially unlikely. Less likely than some of the other folks who were there.
Yep.
Okay, day 26. We're at the Edge of Extinction. It's message in a bottle time again.
Yep, they each get their own clue. And nobody reacted real fast until David did, seem like.
Well, as soon as they had their moment and read it, he seemed to book off. He had his idea where to go.
Well, and then Aubry did too, but...
Yep, they actually showed her in like one of the preview videos. I think you could see her running down the beach. I thought, what was that about? Now we know. And Eric says he's got an idea since the clue was talking about hollow. He thought that might have been near the rice where they get their food, and then he tells us
their tummy's hollow.
No, that wasn't actually the case. And Chris and Joe get an idea that maybe it's near the mast because it kind of fits that description. Here's what I want to say about this clue. It was vague enough, I think, finally, that there was some difficulty. There were clear alternate possibilities for where it may be.
Yeah, there was with the steak clue, too, the one that Aubry found. Steps, steak.
Yeah, so they're definitely doing better with these so that it's not just an immediate beeline to something and then it's in hand.
Here's what I didn't understand. Why were Joe and Chris collaborating?
Because
together.
Each of them had worked together. Folks out at Edge of Extinction had worked together to try to find where it was before.
I know, but who's going to get it in that case?
First one to touch it.
Well, I know that. That's the rule.
So you knew the answer to your question?
I know, but why share it? Go look first. Let everybody go look their own place.
Two heads better than one?
Yeah.
You don't agree? Okay.
Not necessarily. Sometimes.
In any case, David ends up finding it. It turns out it was in the cracks there in those jagged rocks the whole time.
Jagged, smooth, and hollow.
And it's an advantage where he gets to help someone.
I thought, how is that an advantage to him? I mean, it could be long-term if he gets back in the game, but it's
all about goodwill.
Yeah.
Sure. When you can't really trust anyone, but you have to trust someone, something like that could be the kind of thing that tips the balance in your favor.
It's a possible advantage to him. It doesn't give him anything right off the bat, but it does help.
It's a very intangible advantage, so it's an advantage of a different flavor for sure.
Though
because it's not directly beneficial. I agree.
Yeah, if he got back in the game, certainly it would be great to have Rick still there.
Yep. Or whoever he chose.
Yes.
And the interesting thing about it is it didn't say what it was. And even when it shows up, which it's about to show up, it's not clear. So I don't think there
was going to give it to Rick.
Yeah, it was just a vague description of, hey, you get to help someone that's still in the game. And he did say he was happy to be able to help someone.
Well, he wanted to get someone to, I thought, well, Rick already likes you.
Yeah.
He's already with you.
But who else do you think who else would have been a good choice?
I wouldn't give it to any of the others. I would have just give it to Rick, too.
Okay, then you didn't really have a point.
I did have a point. I thought he was saying that he was going to court someone else.
Okay.
That was my point.
All right.
Mr. Smarty Pants.
Okay, day 27. We're at Immunity Challenge number 2. In the 1 hour episode, it's going by fast. You got to balance a paddle on a stand, and then you got to roll 3 balls down these little lane there on the handle of the paddle, and then there are 5 dimples in the paddle that you got to get the ball to rest in.
Honey, there's got to be 5 balls.
Mm-hmm. 5 dimples, yeah.
5 dimples. You said 3 balls.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
my bad.
Did you say 3 balls? Okay, and that's when Rick spoke up.
Yep. Turns out he got a an advantage from David, and now we find out what it is.
And that's all he knew.
Instead, yeah, he didn't actually know what it was. So Probst informs us that he's only got to get 4 of them to win instead of the 5.
He said, give me one of those 5 balls. Now
Right.
you only have to get 4.
Did you notice there was right at the end of the paddle handle, before it went out onto the paddle, it went up the little channel that the ball rolled in along the
So
handle?
you had to get it going a little fast.
You had to, to get a little momentum to get
over
over
the
it.
lip.
Right.
But then it could shoot straight off
Which
because
we
it
got
was
to see
completely flat.
Many
after
examples of that. Definitely, there was something to it. You had to learn to finesse it. But Rick seemed to be doing pretty good right out of the gate.
Yeah, Rick and was it Ron and
Aurora seemed to be the only
Aurora,
ones,
yeah,
evidently, that were able to get any of them there.
the others were just terrible. I don't
Yeah.
know if they ever got any.
It didn't appear to be the case.
Yeah. So Rick gets one in first, and he got his second one too. Didn't no. Then Ron got one. Mm-hmm. Ron got his first.
Yeah, they all started tracking pretty close. Rick, Ron, Aurora, and then it was just kind of repeating in that
But
order.
nobody
2,
else other
3.
than Rick knocked their balls off. So he actually
that
had
we saw.
to get them in there many times.
Right, yeah. He had to land the third one 3 times before he was finally
At
able to move
least.
on to the fourth. From what they showed on TV, yeah. It was
Yeah,
3 times
and the
he
others
had
may
to do
have
it.
too, and they didn't choose to show it because
Yep.
of not enough time.
It even looked like he wasn't going to make it, even though
I
he had
know.
less to deal with, and then he ends up coming back and winning.
Because Aurora already had 4,
Yep.
was working on her 5th, and he finally came back and got that 4th one in.
So
Woohoo.
first guy this season to win individual immunity.
No, he's not.
Oh no, that's right. Gavin did.
Gavin
Sorry.
just gave it
I was thinking
back.
about the women being so dominant. Yeah. Yep. So yeah.
Wrong again.
Yep.
Okay.
Julie tells us Aurora's dangerous and she's praying to get her out tonight. I don't know why Aurora's.
Julie,
I guess
Julie.
she sees her as a threat for individual immunity, right? And she
she
never
just
was wholly with them. So, okay, we get a great scene with some whales as we're making our way back to Vata Beach there on day 27. And Rick says he is so glad to have that immunity necklace.
And he is so lucky because I'm pretty sure he'd have been the one to go. Wouldn't they have gone for him before Aurora? Or no? What do you think?
Seems like they had a plan for Aurora before, and David was the alternate. So, yeah, I'm going to go with they were really focused on getting Aurora out.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So Kelley says that she's a dead man walking. So, as they cut over to where Aurora's there on the beach.
Well, somebody is.
And then they
Kelley.
pop the surprise on us. Earlier today, the subtitles say, and it's War Dog. So he's reaching out to Rick and Aurora and Victoria and to Ron. And his plan is, hear him say to Ron, we can't let a returnee get to the end. So it's time to take Kelley out. And everybody says they're on board. Although Ron says, War Dog scares me. And Julie will be furious.
Well, Rick, of course, he's on board. Anybody but me or somebody I could make an alliance with. Kelley's not one of those people. Sure, I'm on board.
It's perfect from War Dog's perspective, too, because he just blew up any hope they had of an alliance that could have gone against the 6. And now Harry is throwing each of them, a lifeline in the game.
Yeah. And he's telling all the other 5 that, yeah, well, we had a 6, but come on. I don't have to hold to that. Let's get Kelley out. Let's take out one of our 6 first. So who's going to trust him? I guess Ron does.
And I thought with the next scene where they cut to Wentworth and Lauren and Gavin there on the beach and they're having a discussion saying, is this too easy? It feels like it might be too easy. And I thought she may be getting a clue at this point, but I guess
her
not.
spidey sense might be.
Yeah, I guess
working.
people are still talking to her, so
Yeah.
they're looking at her and talking to her, so she wasn't quite as worried.
Well, and why doesn't Ron care if he makes Julie furious? Why?
Why does he or doesn't?
Why doesn't he care?
In this case, because he feels like this is better for his game,
Well, yeah.
and he's going against what she wants. But it's better for him because he's playing his own game.
Maybe, maybe not. I hope she totally flips on him.
Okay.
I mean, how many times are people going to leave her out of the vote? And she forgives them. She didn't forgive the other people.
She doesn't really have a choice, though.
She does.
She's a coattail rider.
She's got Aurora. Rick will be happy to tell her what to do. He'll take her under his wing.
Sure.
And Aurora will go along. Well, unless she decides to go with Ron.
I guess the most interesting thing before they go to tribal is that discussion with Aurora and Ron. What did you think about that? Where Aurora offers him the extra vote to try to curry some favor to let him hold it.
I thought it was strange. You're basically saying,
There's another odd interaction with her, right? That wasn't immediately clear. We had to go back and rewatch that.
Well, if you want to, you can vote me out and just keep my extra vote. Nobody will ever know. And that's kind of the option you gave him. Or you can go with me and then give it back to me and we'll work together. It's like, you are so lucky he didn't vote you off.
He did the right thing in the moment, which is to tell her, yeah, I'll give it right back. And, we can work together. There's options here. So
absolutely.
The thing about Ron is he doesn't close the door on people. So he keeps those doors open, or he has been recently. It seems to
have served him well for
He did for a little while, and then he got humbled. And right now, he's leaving the doors open. So, and, of course, he's ecstatic that he's back in the middle again. So he's got options.
Well, he does seem to have more options than anybody right now. So I don't know if that'll last.
Night 27, we're headed for our second tribal council of the episode. The jury comes in. And Rick is all smiles for David, letting him know that, hey, buddy, it paid off.
Yep, calls him his angel. Mm-hmm. And you can tell David's happy, too, that Rick is wearing the necklace.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing.
What did you think about Victoria's response to Probe, saying that there wasn't a lot of people talking to her? Did you believe her this time?
Did I believe her?
I got to circle back
I thought she sold it well, but did I believe her? No.
Okay. Well, I think it's pretty clear, hon, that people weren't talking to her.
Of course they were.
Until War Dog reached out. She didn't have an option.
Rick was talking to her. David was talking to her. I think probably even Aurora was talking to her.
This is the second tribal council.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
And
David's not here. He's been voted out.
Well, but I mean, he talked to her when he was there. People were talking to her.
Yeah, but we're focused on
she said the last few
27.
Days.
Yeah.
No, she said the last few days. So that included that. However, she voted with the majority. Somebody was talking to her.
Well, certainly she got in on the plan with War Dog, and they were all hoping that it would come to fruition.
Well, I think she was probably in on all the plans.
Aurora, well, okay. She wasn't, if you look at the votes. Okay.
What do you mean she wasn't?
She wasn't in the previous one.
She chose who to vote.
Yep. Okay, so Aurora tells them that she's still got options, but none of this was setting off warning bells for Kelley. So she was just clear that
we
Aurora
went back and watched for signals, and they did a good job. They really did. I didn't see any glaring that would get her spidey senses going. So I think they were aware of it and did a real good job too.
Yep. And this is where we got our title too from Ron, where he said when he got the taste of the blind side, sometimes people want them more and more. But Wentworth's all about pumping the brakes here. Well, you don't always have to
have a blind side. And it's awfully nice for us to be able to be more comfortable and just, we have our group.
War Dog was very comforting in that part too. They don't all have to be blind sides. He agrees with Wentworth.
And then Victoria tells them, it's time to start thinking about who you want to sit with at the end.
There are always options, she said, and there's definitely some scarier options than me.
But Kelley didn't agree with her. If you don't trust your alliance, you may not get there at all. Hello, listen to yourself. Okay, Rick tells us that their theory is that there are no advantages at camp. Mm-hmm. They're all over there on Edge of Extinction.
Yeah, yep. Which would be comforting.
Which they don't think there's any idols to play, but we know that at least Kelley and Lauren know that's not true. Because I think Rick's idol was given to him after he got back from over there. So basically, they didn't think there were idols found out there. Okay.
Ron's all about relaxing, chillaxing, and Julie says that, yeah, she's interested in backing off and being safe and easy. There's no point to go crazy.
Let's just don't shake things up.
Yep. Stick to the plan, Julie Nail.
Yeah.
The wind picks up and it's time to vote. Lauren says that it is cold.
What was the point in showing that?
What's up?
Do you think? Lauren saying that.
It's an ill wind for their alliance.
Well, that's what I was like. Pay attention. The wind's blowing. It's coming, Kelley.
Yep.
And then, bam.
Death of
no
her game.
idol.
Yeah, once
playing.
again. Yeah, it worked.
I was like, are you kidding me?
They totally convinced her to stick to the plan. It worked.
I thought, well, then I hope you go home.
All these Aurora votes come in. I like how they ordered them. They do pause the tribal council to go not only count the votes,
Oh, yeah, sure.
but to order them specifically for the most dramatic impact.
Always.
Aurora, 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 and then all the Wentworth votes come roaring back in, and now Wentworth knows something's wrong, and she's out with a hidden immunity idol in her pocket.
Bam.
She responds, "There's a lot of lying going on around here."
Yep. And Lauren turns around and stares at War Dog, and he just shrugs.
Yep.
Eh.
All right. Anything you want to say about the episode? What'd you think? There's a lot going on with double eliminations.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah. And I was completely wrong and caught off guard to see the two returning players, the remaining returning players, get wiped out in this episode. Because a lot of times what they do with the double elimination 1 hour episodes, it's kind of some...
Clean house.
Yeah, some house cleaning,
Well, they
groundskeeping.
did. They got rid of the rest of the
Returning
returnees.
players who had been the focus of the story arc, like we were talking about
Yeah,
in
it's
response to
true.
Jeremiah's question and the listener feedback. So
It had just gone other ways so much. I guess we got used to that. But, I mean, it's not like everybody didn't know David was a target and Kelley's a target. But, I don't know.
The
We
editors got
so
me
used to-
again.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did me too.
yeah,
Because
But
I thought, oh, no, it'd be one of
I
the others.
enjoyed it. I think it was a long time coming, but it's certainly good to finally see the returning players knocked out. I'm
Oh, I totally.
satisfied with that.
Totally, even though, I'm a little mad at Julie for not.
Going with the better 6 option, in your opinion?
No, it's not even that. It doesn't feel like she's driving her own car, so to speak. So
Or the pilot of her own
she's-
one-person plane,
No,
she told
she's
us.
not the pilot.
No.
And she's being swayed too much by other people.
She's in that glider that's still holding on to the
Yeah.
tow plane. If she's in a single seater, she hasn't released yet. That's for sure.
You can just see her going, oh no,
Yeah.
oh no, I'm floating now. I don't know what to do. Where do I
Right.
go?
Yeah, she doesn't inspire confidence. She doesn't. No one's going to mistake her for a survivor mastermind at this point.
I want to see her just get really mad at Ron.
Yeah, you see her
No.
mount an alliance to take him out.
It was a great episode.
Think she could do it?
It was. I don't know if she can or not. I'm
I'm gonna
losing
go with no.
faith that she can
Act
do
in
that,
time to
but-
save herself. Yeah.
Oy. I wouldn't put it past her to try to get back at him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think she should. If she's smart, then
Yeah.
she'll make a stand, and they'll get out War Dog and Ron, because as of right now, it looks like they're kind of running the show.
Definitely, War Dog's got shot collar on him, and
Yep.
Ron's headed back to puppet master territory if they're
and
not careful.
They are both playing the game. I have to give them that. I don't really necessarily like either one of them. They wouldn't have been my choice to support, but I can't deny that they're both playing the game and playing hard.
Who do you think can challenge him right now? Who do you think can challenge War Dog? Yeah, Rick's potential. If Victoria can get her feet back under her, I think she
Yeah,
got
she
knocked
could.
over. I think she got bowled over, literally, and she lost her
I
footing.
think she's biding her time.
Yeah, she's in a position where she can hide too.
Yep.
So,
She's kind of straddling the fence,
like
biding
she
her
said,
time.
there are other things to worry about that are scarier than her.
She's not afraid to make a move. I would still keep an eye out for that girl, because she can play this game too.
Okay, so this idol's gone. Are we going to see another one come back? Kelley's idol's out. So,
Doesn't look like we saw one come back for.
but that was a 3 idol one.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
definitely seen 2 idols be active as we head towards the end before.
It's possible. I would certainly be out there looking just in case. And especially since they don't think there's any other idols out there. But they might want to, well, they don't even know Kelley had an idol.
No,
That's
they
the
don't.
thing,
But
they don't know.
what's everybody on Edge of Extinction know now, thanks to Kelley?
What a blabber. She went right out there and said, yeah, Lauren's got one too.
I got voted out with one in my pocket, but Lauren has the Manu idol. Yeah, she blurted that out. So whoever makes it back,
Whoever goes back's got that knowledge.
Yeah, if they're from this group, the 8 that are there now. So
She's kept things so quiet. Did she think Lauren voted for her or went against her? Maybe she doesn't know who voted for her.
could be.
She might have thought, well,
Because War Dog had planted that seed in her head that Lauren might turn on her early
Lauren
on,
might
right?
turn on you.
Yeah.
And so she might have gone out there thinking, well, I don't know who turned on me. And so
And I'm gonna
just telling
gonna
she
level
got
the
an
playing
idol, too.
field. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be surprised to see one come back for sure. And I'm obviously curious to see if Ron returns the advantage to Aurora. That just seemed odd, but most things seem that are surrounding Aurora are odd or off. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised at this point.
I'd just say, well, I'll just hold it for us in case we need it.
Pull a
Just so I
David
can
Wright.
keep you close. Pull
Yeah.
a David Wright.
Uh-huh.
But Aurora it does not have Rick's temperament, so she might attack him and take it back.
So of those left, who are you most excited about? Who are you cheering for? So David's gone, Kelley's gone. You got Aurora, War Dog, Gavin, Julie, Lauren, Rick, Ron, and Victoria. Who are you cheering for from that group?
Like I said, Rick.
Yeah, that's the main one. Is there a second?
No.
You got to admit, War Dog's playing really well. He's playing
is,
on a
but
level above everyone else.
He is. And I would accept it if he's the winner that he played. Now, I didn't see his gameplay in the beginning of the game. I would have gone, bah, that guy's worthless. But this, since the merge, the man's been playing.
Well, he was calling the shots in the
Even
beginning of the
before.
game. He was
Yeah,
calling
no.
he was the shot caller there.
But I thought they were just, I don't know. I just thought they were kind of going
didn't
along.
want to give him the
'cause
credit?
They didn't care, and I wasn't giving him credit. That's true.
Yeah.
But now I have to because he really is. I don't know why everybody's
I'd say Rick,
letting him.
Ron, and Victoria have the potential to do something. Somehow Gavin feels like a lame duck. Not the same way that Julie is, but he just
Yeah.
doesn't seem... he's talking about how he wants War Dog's head on a platter after how that last vote went, and I guess War Dog talked down to him when they get back from this last tribal
That was
council.
a mistake.
But he doesn't see... I don't see it in him to be able to pull anything together. I'm not sure that he's got
Okay.
any gravitas in the game as it
Here
relates to alliances
It's
right
what
now.
I don't understand. It's one thing to think that Julie would throw a fit and out everything in tribal council. Okay, she just did that, so I get that, and I can understand
Did you
that
mean
they.
Julia?
No, I mean Julie.
Okay. How did she do that?
How did she do what?
Give up everything in tribal council?
I'm ready to jump ship.
That was 3 tribal councils back.
So?
Or two back
So?
from this one. Okay. Well, I
Was
wasn't
last
clear.
week.
I wasn't clear on what you're talking about.
Well, shut up and listen. You can understand them keeping that hidden from her, though I still think it was a bad decision on Ron's part.
Uh-huh.
However, why did they bother to keep Gavin out? Why did they let him vote for Aurora? Why wasn't he included? He's supposed to be in their 6. War Dog courted
Okay,
him.
so you and I went
wanted
round and
him.
round on this before we sat down here. I think it's because War Dog's blowing up the 6, and he didn't need Gavin, and he sees Gavin as a threat. That's the only answer that I really have in
But
that
it's
regard.
stupid to do it now.
Okay, he clearly thought there was too much risk to share that with Gavin, that Gavin might take it as an opportunity to pivot and do something different. Because what War Dog did was he courted the underdogs. He courted the people who were in the minority, who didn't have anything. Aurora, Rick, Victoria. The only one you can make an argument with was, Ron.
Okay, so you're saying that's War Dog. What about Ron? Gavin's already screwed Ron and Julie over once. So is this payback from Ron?
Sure.
Why didn't Ron tell him?
Yeah, Ron's vindictive.
Why is he isolating? I don't understand. If they really believed he was with them in the 6, though maybe he wouldn't have been, they didn't think he'd be on board going after one of the 6.
Exactly. Yeah.
I still don't understand. They need to keep their numbers up. And I think that would have been, he would have gone along.
Yeah, the majority shrinks, though, with everyone who gets voted out. You need a smaller number to keep control.
Still don't quite.
And if you pivot and carve like this, and you can get away with it, people let you get away with it, it's a good strategy.
Well,
knock one off this side, knock one off the other side.
It just annoyed me, which I'm sure you can tell.
Yes.
That they are discounting Julie, and she's letting them.
Okay, so you're like mad at Julie and mad at them?
And mad at them for discounting her.
Okay.
And, it's like, are you kidding me? I want her to be mad at them and take a stand. That's what I want. I think she should be very angry at both Ron and War Dog.
Well, could be. We could yet see the wrath of the Julie.
Wrath of Julie. Come on, girl.
The Julie. The War Dog.
The Julie.
Uh-huh.
The Julie versus the War Dog.
Who's going to win that one?
I vote for Julie.
Anything else
Go
from
Julie.
From the episode?
Go Julie. I don't know. I'm still on.
Next time on Survivor, revenge-fueled rage could lead to a powerful new alliance. So Gavin is upset. He wants War Dog's head on a platter, he tells us.
Yep, he talked to me like a dog.
You can see War Dog talking to him, and the subtitle says, "Right now I'm upset with you," as he's talking to Gavin. So it'll be interesting to see how that played out. But Gavin doesn't appear to be in good standing, no matter how you look at it right now.
Well, and the other people should be upset, too. Lauren should be upset with him. She should certainly be looking for other alternatives with Julie and Gavin and Aurora.
Yeah, she's freed up, so you could
Victoria.
see if she's flexible enough and they're willing to accept and work with her, there definitely some new options could form. That's the thing. You got to be ready to pivot at this stage in the game.
Well, that's the only thing is I hate seeing Rick lumped in with Ron and War Dog. I didn't want him to get caught up in that group of people.
They're a bad group of people. They're going to rub off on him. He's a good guy. These are evil people, huh?
Well, he's a player, but I like him enough.
All right, you can see War Dog's talking to Rick and Ron, and he's telling them, hey, we got to take the goats out. Who do you think he's talking about? Who are the goats?
Wow.
Who's War Dog going to think is a goat?
Who do they think are the goats? I would say definitely Julia.
Julie.
I meant Julie.
Mm-hmm.
And Victoria. I think they aren't seeing her play yet. I don't think she's letting them see a lot of what she's done. So I think
I'm not as sure about the Victoria one. But Julie for sure.
You asked me what I thought War Dog.
Yep.
And I'm telling you.
Okay.
Aurora, Julie, Victoria, and even Lauren. I don't think they see her as playing. She's the follower in their opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely seemed like she was on tucked under Wentworth's coattails there.
So I think they think everyone that isn't them are the followers.
Rick's pretty good with it, though. He tells us that Ron and War Dog and him, they all kind of need each other at this point. So.
Well, if that's true, then go Rick. So try to put the target on them and stay hidden as long as you can.
So Aurora's not sitting on her hands. She's talking to Victoria and Gavin from what we can tell and saying,
let's get Devins
hey,
out.
Let's put our vote on Rick. So they're targeting Rick now.
But that's not what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be War Dog?
Hello?
Or Ron?
Hello? Why is it Rick?
Ron's telling us about how flexible he is. He said, well, if I don't work with you right now, maybe I'll work with you next time, which was very reminiscent of Nick last season. So, Yep, it just sort of reminded me of that. That's not a bad strategy to have.
This is the first time I've actually thought, Well, Ron could win this thing if he gets there because people do seem to like him. But he'd have a lot to answer for. But
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you're going to make it to the end with your hands clean in this season for sure.
Well, no. But I think
Especially
if he
if
were
they get
up
the goats
against War Dog, he might have an argument to make. But like I said, they're both playing. Good on them. I just was cheering for the other side. I really liked the David Devins group.
Yep.
I wanted to see
Aurora,
what they
Victoria,
could do.
Ron, and Julie. Yep.
Yeah, the rest of them, I don't. It's not that I care as much about the rest of the players, but
So right now, it's Rick for you.
us Rick for me. Yeah.
Okay. Deal. How about a JSFL update?
Plus whoever comes back. All right, I do not have the full update because I couldn't. I have to wait for Steve to be able to update since there were 2 vote-offs this week. I did, however, suss out that there were, and if people's picks rolled over, I would not have that data, but there were approximately 66 people who got a vote-off point for David and 46 for Kelley.
Nice.
And there were 9 people I saw who had both David and Kelley.
Good job. Yeah.
So good on you guys.
Yep, not an easy feat.
I was able to go in and get the side challengers. In first place is still Stacy with 39 points.
Okay.
With 38 points, James and Shannon.
Wow.
37 points, Jay Kindred and Randy. With 36 points, Brandon and Jeremiah. With 35 points, Cold Mike and Jack. With 34 points, we have Brad, Drew, Iron Dave, Jonathan, and Parker. And with 32 points, Slappy McGee.
Are we missing someone?
No,
How did Slappy end up in the bottom by himself?
he had both Kelley and David safe.
My goodness, that's some bold playing, Slappy.
Well, James and Shannon got a perfect score.
Oh, nice.
They got
that's
6
impressive.
points.
Yeah,
They
that's
were
why
one
they're
of the
surging,
9.
surging up to the
Yes,
top.
that
for
was
sure.
impressive.
Yeah, jumping
So-
some spots there.
Yeah, but
Well, thanks for keeping it locked down there in the basement, Slappy. We appreciate your effort,
you're
son.
being mean. Quit picking on Slappy.
Hey, we're looking forward to hearing what you thought about this double elimination episode. Would you like to see more of these? What if they did this more often in 1 hour? This is certainly a case, I think, for something that should have been 2 hours. This is just too much in 1 hour.
I don't know. I would like it occasionally, but I would actually like to see them do it one more time before the finale. So I'm afraid they're going to take us into the finale episode that night. We will not know who's coming back, and that will make the choices way harder in JSFL.
It's really about not making it so difficult for Joanne
JSFL.
and Joanne in JSFL.
That's
okay, let me
true.
try this again. This is actually directed towards other super fans. So although you're going to hear me ask for feedback,
Then don't look at me.
I want you to restrain yourself for
Do
a
not
second.
look at me when you say it.
I don't know why you know how the flow of the show
I
works
don't
here.
care.
Okay, so we're looking forward to hearing from the other super fans in addition to Goanne here and see what you thought about
Call me go in.
this double elimination episode and what you think we can expect next. Who do you think is going to be in charge after the dust settles from this one? And who are you cheering for the most? Who do you think's playing the best game? And who's going to join them out there on Extinction Island next? Looking forward to hearing from you. Voicemail line 206-350-1547. Toll free 844-643-8737. You can write it up in an email and we'll read it into the show on your behalf. That's Joanne and Stacy Show at gmail.com. You can always record your own. Send it as an attachment. Keep it under 3 minutes. And the sooner you get it in, the better. That gives us more time to edit it and get it all set up so that we can start putting the show together. The deadline is noon Saturday Pacific time. And we've been having some great listener feedback shows. A lot of different perspectives and angles. We got a wide spectrum here. So there may be something that you noticed that we didn't cover in the recap. Now, we've done the recap. You don't need to spend your 3 minutes recapping anything. We've got the big broad strokes. We're looking for the finer details, something you might have picked up on, or a prediction you're willing to put yourself out there on the line to make as we head into the next episode. Anything else you want to add?
Are you going to watch the Survivor folks with me on The Amazing Race?
Yeah, sure. We'll get this put
All
out there,
right.
and then we'll watch The Amazing
Woohoo.
Race since it's got some Survivor folks on it. So
All right.
sounds good. Okay, we look forward to hearing from you for the listener feedback show. Have a good one.